Yes, of course, that was the launch of the Loop Safari Gravel Series that was launched today at the Karura Forest in Nairobi. Now, I want us to get into something very interesting, and it's all about Kho Kho. I've been told it's not a cuckoo, but it's a Kho Kho. Remember the national teams, that is the men and women's national teams, were in India for the World Championships that just ended. And before we even get into that conversation, let's just take a look at how Kho Kho is played. Well, that is a part of the action from the Kho Kho World Cup that was held in India. But today in studio, I'm joined with Brian Onyo, who's the coach for the women's national team, as well as Agneta Okumu, who is one of the players from the Kho Kho national team. And that is that will form our conversation this afternoon. Now, Brian, you've said it's not cuckoo, it's Kho Kho.
Kho Kho, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did you learn this? Where did you learn about Kho Kho?
Okay, I was introduced to Kho Kho by a friend of mine called Coach Jacob Nyaudo. He's the one who introduced me to the game. That was in 2020.
Yes.
So in 2020, we went to New Delhi, India, for an international coaching course in the sport. So after learning the sport there, we came back and launched some clubs in Nairobi, Kitengela. Yeah.
So we can say that you're among the pioneers of this sport in the country.
Yeah, I'm among the pioneers. Actually, we were three of us. I myself, Coach Martin Rabunde, who is our technical director at the Kenya Kho Kho Federation, and Coach Simon Bogwa, who is the head of, who is our vice president too. Yeah.
How did you get yourself coaching the ladies and not the men?
It's a tough question, but I was given the opportunity by the federation to handle the ladies team, since they saw what I was doing, my work I was doing at St. Teresa's Girls and Huruma Girls. I was working with the girls. So they saw it's a great opportunity to me to nurture the girls. So that's how I got myself into the ladies team. Yeah.
Agneta, where did you learn about Kho Kho?
It is from my coach Brian.
He's the one who introduced you to Kho Kho.
Yes.
But I tend to think that this is a game that, you know, we used to play when we were young, back in the day, like, you know, tapo.
Yeah,
something of the sort. Yeah. Was that easy for you to join after, you know, having played that back in the day?
Yeah, it was easy for me because even I have been playing many games and it was easy for me to join them. Yeah.
When you say many games, which are these games?
First of all, he was my coach in floorball. Then I'm a hockey player, athlete. Yeah.
Wait, Agneta, you are a jack of all trades.
Yeah, it is from my dad's.
Wait, okay. So basically you come from a family that is sports oriented. Yes, so let's talk about the World Cup. How was it for you?
It was a bit tough because, we have been training on Mara, first of all. We have been training outdoor. Going to India, we have been training on a mat. And again, it was indoor, not outdoor. And we have been, our clubs, tournaments, we have been training outdoor. We have been doing our things outdoor, not on tasks. In India, a large crowd inside the stadium, it is indoor, have to go and dive on the mat, and we have been diving on grasses, you know, because we lacked resources. Kenya, being the first
First time at the World Cup.
Yeah. Have been training in Kasarani. We were training on sand, not even on grass.
Yes.
Then, because of diving and poles, we didn't have poles. Then we had to migrate to Ngara. Ngara, we had problems with the place we used to train. Then we moved to Parklands. That's where most of our training we did there. Then this coach who was brought to Kenya to introduce us to this diving, pole diving, skydiving. Yeah, as you had seen, some of the ladies are diving.
Yes.
Yeah, that's flat diving or skydiving. Yeah.
One thing I want to get from you, Agneta, when you were at the World Cup, I'm sure you had a number of friends asking you, which game is this that you're playing?
Yeah.
You are in India, which game is this that you're playing? What did you tell them?
I told them it is Indian game called Kho Kho. Yeah.
And what was their reaction?
Wow, I've never heard of this game. They told me, is it Kabaddi? Because Kabaddi was...
Well, yeah, people know about Kabaddi.
Yeah,
And
but
it's,
I say
history in
it
India.
is from the same family, but different game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same family, but different game. Now, Coach,
Yes.
You know, going to the World Cup for the first time as representing the national team, that is Kenya, you know, being the custodian of the ladies team, you participated against different teams, but they are specific games that you won, and everybody was asking, first, how can Kenya beat Netherlands? Yes. What, even before we get into, you know, your reaction into that, when the likes of Agneta defeated Netherlands, what was your reaction?
Okay, first, before we traveled to India, we already had the fixtures. So the group that we were placed, we had Netherlands, England. So I told my girls, Netherlands, Holland are only good in football. So Kho Kho is our thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So after that, our first game, the reaction was quick. I tell them, this is not football, this is Kho Kho. So when they went inside the field, they did their thing. So it was very quick and fast. Yeah. So first thing, our team, our ladies team, they're fast, and their reaction is good, and their concentration is okay. Compared to the Netherlands, they were a bit slow, and they haven't mastered the techniques so well. So that's where we beat them. Yeah.
So coming from the World Cup, I mean, what is this thing that, I mean, you have learned? What are these lessons that you picked from the World Cup, having in mind that this was the first time for the both men and women's team participating in the World Cup? Which are these lessons that you picked that, I mean, you are going to apply, and then next World Cup, probably it will be Kenya winning? Remember, Agneta spoke about Kabaddi. A foreign game came to Kenya after one or two cycles. Kenya was dominating. So which are these lessons that you picked? Probably the next now World Cup, it will be, the finals will be Kenya.
Okay, so what I learned, take up for example, the hosts India. They have proper structures in Kho Kho. Also they have national games for Kho Kho, where they concentrate only on Kho Kho. So the different states in India, they have Kho Kho in each state.
Yes.
Okay, and they practice from under 10 going up till the senior structures. Whereas when you find, as the national team that was playing there, the age group there was from 19 to 23. That was the main age group that was participating. So, and the technique there was good. I learned a lot through that, and also the teams that were apart from India, we had other good teams like Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. So they have been playing Kho Kho over and over the years.
Yes.
So back in Kenya, what our federation started putting in place is about the structures. I will start the league. So from the league, we'll nurture players from a tender age till 18. So from there, we'll get good players. We'll be able to play well at the international arena.
Coach Brian, before you got into Kho Kho, which game were you playing?
So
because I'm sure you didn't just find yourself in Kho Kho. You must have been in a different sport.
Okay, initially I was in swimming. So from swimming, I was introduced to floorball by the same coach called Jacob. So after floorball is when I got into Kho Kho now. Yeah.
It seems floorball is the entry into Kho Kho. Because Agneta said that she was also in floorball.
Yeah. So from there, that's when I got introduced to Kho Kho. And I love the sport.
Yeah. So in terms of standards, I mean, this is the first time that Kenya went to the World Cup. I mean, where can you rate the country as compared to other countries across the world?
Okay, across the world. Let me start with Africa first. Rating Kenya in Africa, we are number 2 after South Africa. Because South Africa, they are good.
Yes.
They've been playing the game for like 20 years now. So in Africa, I can rate Kenya as number 2. Worldwide, to be sincere, we still have a long way to go. Yeah. So we need to put more extra effort.
When you say we have a long way to go, what are these things that we need to cover that we get to some of the top teams that we have?
Okay, first is the facilities, as she mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah. So where we were training at Kasarani, Gate 4, that space over there.
Yeah.
So facilities is the first thing. Without proper facilities, we can't do anything. We can't practice the proper techniques that are used in Kho Kho. So first we use facilities. That's thing number 1. The mats. We need to import the mats and have a place that the teams can be playing. And then 2 is about the leagues. If you have leagues from junior to senior, I think we'll have a good number of players.
How's the support from the government been?
The government has been positive, even when we went to India.
Yeah.
The government has been supportive. So we really appreciate and give much thanks to them for that support. And also we'll encourage them to support us in future events that come up. So the government has been there for us.
Yes, Agneta, before we wrap up this interview, yes, you participated alongside some of the best teams in the world. Probably, which gap do you feel that we need to close before we get to dance with the best?
Once again, we need resources. When we get resources, we are good to go. Yeah, and well-wishers and sponsors, the government to chip in. Yeah, we'll be the best team ever. Because I saw the effort and I rated myself without players. At my point, we are better than South Africa when we get resources. India, we can deal with them. Yeah.
India, you can deal with them.
Yes.
So if
somebody want to beat South Africa first, then
but you have to deal with the South Africa first.
Yeah.
So if somebody asked you, would you go back to hockey and other sports that you are taking part in, or would you rather stick with the Kho Kho? What do you say?
Trick question.
Yes.
It's a trick one.
Because
I love sports.
I know you've excelled in those other sports,
and
now you're in Kho Kho, but would you rather go back or would you stick with the Kho Kho?
We'll sit on the table of Kho Kho. Yeah.
We'll sit on the table with Kho Kho.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. As we wrap up this, Coach Brayo, what does the future have for Kho Kho in Kenya? And I'm asking you this because before you guys went to the World Cup, people didn't understand what Kho Kho is. People didn't know that we have this sport in Kenya. But what does the future hold? And when I say that, people just found out that there's a team in the World Cup that is participating in Kho Kho World Cup in India, and nobody had heard about it before.
So the future of Kho Kho in Kenya is very bright. As I can say that, it's very, very bright. We have since 2020, we have mobilized almost 15 counties. So we have county associations that are running Kho Kho. So for example, we have in Nairobi, Kisumu, Kajiado, all the way. And then we have started also initiatives in high schools. So far we are in Huruma Girls, they are doing Kho Kho. St. Teresa's Girls, they are doing Kho Kho. St. Anne's, among others. So even in junior high school, we have introduced Kho Kho. So Kho Kho is a fun sport and people are liking it. So, and also we have clubs in Kenya that are playing Kho Kho. So the future is bright, and we're also introducing, we have a league that is coming up for both juniors, seniors, ladies and men. Yeah.
Yes. Agneta, of course, as Coach Brian said, the future is very brighter for Kho Kho in Kenya. And as we are wrapping up this interview, what are you looking forward to in this sport now that you've tested what the World Cup is all about?
I want to be the best player ever in Kho Kho.
In Kenya?
Yeah.
In Kenya or in the world?
In the world. Because the first match we played, I was the best player. Yes. Then these other matches, I had knee injury because of lack of facilities.
Yes.
And before that...
Have you recovered?
Yeah, I have recovered. Yeah. It was this leg.
Yes.
I have recovered. Yeah.
So you want to be the best player in Kho Kho in the world.
Yes.
Can I give you a test?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Shout out to your teammates. I want you to look at this camera.
Yeah.
Shout out to your team just in front of you. Shout out to your teammates that you took part in the World Cup with in India.
First of all, I will start with Chumbana, Lavo, Sly, Daisy, Lolo, Maya, then Mary, big up sana. Thank you for that teamwork. Tuendelee na yoro. Yeah.
You've forgotten two, but it's okay. It's understood. Are you sure you've mentioned all? Umesahau wawili.
Which players?
Valence.
Oh, Valence.
Umesahau watu wawili.
Sorry.
Well, thank you very much, of course, Agneta and Coach Obran, for finding time to come and talk to us about the growth of Kho Kho in the Kho Kho, rather not Kuku, but Kho Kho in the country. Remember, the national women's and men's team were at the World Cup in India barely a week ago, and they had some fantastic performances, and they say the future of the game is bright in the country, and for Kenya to grow the sport, it has to be introduced in two schools. So we take a short break. When we come back, we'll be crossing over to Davis Mberia, who is at Uhuru Grounds in Nairobi, and will be telling us what is happening in esports. And aside from that, we'll be taking a look at what to expect in the English Premier League fixtures that we have for the day. But that will be after the break.
You're watching Scoreline, brought to you by One